Some debts are paid in cash. Others are paid in daughters. My name is Peggy Milleron. My whole life changed in one night, bound to one man, never free again. It's a long story. It all began when the rain fell over Chicago during that cold October, the month my father gambled away more than just money. I remember the warehouse, the scattered bills on the concrete floor, 6 men in dark suits, each holding red roses like they were attending a funeral or a wedding. I couldn't tell which. Behind me sat Wayne Herrera, silver-haired despite being only 32, wearing a black suit and a crucifix that caught the dim light. His face was unreadable as he studied me, calculating whether I was worth $500,000. How much does your father owe? I didn't answer. I couldn't. Can you work? Follow orders. I didn't say you could ask questions, Wayne said, his voice cold as winter. Daughters are investments, one of his men said. Some fathers don't know their value until it's too late. So naive, another one muttered. Still believes her daddy loves her. Wayne leaned forward. Sign the papers, Gerald. Then you can leave. That's when I realized my father had brought me here to sell me. You're perfect, Wayne said, still staring at me. Young, defiant, doesn't break easily. Exactly what I need. Boss Herrera gets what he wants. Vincent Russo, his lieutenant, announced to my father. The Mafia boss? My voice finally broke through. Father, you can't. Your debt is settled, Wayne interrupted. Your daughter settles it. My father wouldn't look at me. But I told you the terms, Wayne said. She's mine now. Are you asking me to? I started. He's still dangerous, my father said, and I realized he was actually trying to justify this. But you won't suffer. He'll give you this much. He gestured to the money scattered around me. Wayne stood, picked up his jacket. Let me tell you something, girl. If the weak want to survive in this world, they must let go of dignity first. I thought he would hurt me that night. I thought I knew what men like him did with girls like me. Good girl, he said instead, draping his jacket over my shoulders. Here's your reward. The jacket was warm. It smelled like expensive cologne and gun oil. Men like me can't resist a challenge, he said, almost to himself. Monster, I whispered. Yes, he agreed. But I'm your monster now. 3 days later, I was living in his penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan. Vincent thought I'd break within the week. Boss Herrera, give her one more chance, Vincent said when I refused to eat. She's just a kid. Wayne's response was measured. A girl like you isn't ready for this world. You're just collateral. But you're valuable collateral. You're a criminal. I spat at him. Someone will deal with you eventually. Useless rage, he said, almost smiling. What surprised me even more was Wayne himself. He never got tired of watching me, studying me like I was a puzzle he couldn't solve. He set rules. 9 p.m. curfew, no alcohol, no leaving without Vincent. But he also gave me my own room, a credit card, access to his library. Then my father died 2 weeks later. Car accident, they said. Wayne didn't attend the funeral. Would she even come back to claim anything? Vincent asked Wayne. That girl's cunning. Claim what? I said from the doorway. I'm his property now. What is there to fight for? That first night in the penthouse, I tested him. Why am I dressed like this? I asked, wearing the clothes his staff had laid out. Designer labels I'd never afford. None of your business, he said without looking up from his paperwork. I'm talking to you. And you're embarrassing yourself. Change into something more appropriate if you're going to dinner with my associates. This girl, Vincent muttered. Boss Herrera has spoiled her rotten already. It's fine, Wayne said. She's just a kid. Don't take it to heart. In the future, she'll need guidance. Just doing my job, Vincent said. She didn't even cry over her father, another man whispered. Miss Milleron, Vincent said. Mr. Herrera is talking to you. At least show respect. What should I call you? I asked Wayne directly, my voice sharp. Owner? Master? Or should I just call you what you are? Years later, I found a recording. My father's voice, weak and desperate, talking to Wayne before he died. This is my daughter's favorite song, my father said. Promise me, take good care of her. I promise, Wayne said. And never have romantic feelings for her. Promise me. She deserves better than this life. Better than men like us. There was a long pause on the recording. I promise, Wayne said again. Back in the present, I confronted him. What are you doing? Why am I really here? Just doing my job, Wayne said. Your father asked me to take care of you until you're married. Until you grow up. I won't marry anyone you choose. Then grow up first. Money really does make the world go round, doesn't it? I said bitterly. Don't assume everyone is so bad. Are you telling me you're a good person? He didn't answer. My father's death, I said one night, months later. Did it have anything to do with you? That was just an accident. His voice was cold again. This questioning is disrespectful to your guardian. Guardian. That's what he called himself now. Since that conversation, my father's entire world was absorbed into Wayne's empire. As for me, he kept me locked away in luxury. Wayne paid for everything: food, clothes, education. Vincent shadowed me everywhere. Other than those basics, we had no real interactions. Not until I turned 21 and decided I'd had enough. 3 years into my captivity, Vincent found me at Bella Rosa, Wayne's restaurant, drunk at the bar. Sir, Miss Milleron is drunk again. I heard Wayne's footsteps before I saw him. Give me the glass. You're controlling me, I slurred. Your health is my business. Give it back. Go to your room and rest. His hand was on my arm, firm but not painful. Who do you think you are to me? I yanked away. Acting like you own me. It's suffocating. I'll take you to Navy Pier tomorrow, he said, like offering a child a treat. Fresh air. Normal life. Do I look 14 to you? Navy Pier. I laughed bitterly. Let go. Then how about dinner? A real conversation? Why would I go anywhere with you? Who are you to me, really? His jaw tightened. Can we talk about this properly? No. I didn't know it then, but Vincent was talking to Wayne about me in his office. Sir, Miss Milleron misunderstands you deeply. Why don't you tell her your true identity? Why not tell her that her father sold her to save himself, not to settle a debt? If not for you, she'd be with the Costellos right now, and we both know what that means. Why not tell her the truth? She doesn't need to know these things. When do you plan to let her go? After she's safe. After she's married to someone who can protect her from this world. One night, my phone rang while I was in Wayne's study. A man's voice asked, Hey, why is a man answering Peggy's phone? Wayne's voice was ice. I should be asking you that. Hello, sir. Could you tell Peggy to check her messages? This is David Brennan, her friend. After Wayne hung up, he told Vincent one word. Investigate. The next incident happened in the bathroom. I'd had too much wine, trying to numb the confusion of my feelings. I fell asleep in the bathtub, the water growing cold around me. Sir, Miss passed out. She's in the bathtub. I felt strong arms lift me, a towel wrapped around me. Get up. The water's cold. Get up, Peggy. Cold, I mumbled. Thirsty. The next morning, I woke up in my bed, wearing clean pajamas I didn't remember putting on. Vincent brought me breakfast. You were sent back to bed last night, miss. By you? Yes, miss. It was me. But then I noticed the warm milk on my nightstand. Exactly how I liked it, with honey. Vincent didn't know that. Actually, Vincent admitted, the master did it. He left instructions before going out this morning.
Heat the milk, he said.
Add honey. Wayne used to force me to drink milk every morning when I first arrived. For your health, he'd say. You're too thin. Now I didn't know what to think anymore. My friend called again. Hey Peg, come to the vault tonight. Plenty of guys here who'd love to meet you. You need to live a little. In Wayne's office, Vincent reported, Sir, the caller is David Brennan, Miss Milleron's childhood friend. He's invited her out tonight. Wayne's expression didn't change, but his fingers tightened on his pen. I went to the vault anyway, slipping out while Vincent was distracted. Hey, drink up, my friend said. Let me introduce you. This is Peggy Milleron, rich as hell, single as they come. She's got nothing but money and a pretty face. One guy laughed. Don't be fooled by the innocent look, my friend added. Never been in a relationship. Really? Impossible. A girl like that? Why not? She's been locked up in a penthouse like Rapunzel. Get it? They all laughed. Got it. Stop it. My friend said, mock serious. She hasn't even had her first kiss yet. Enough, I said quietly, but no one heard me. That guardian of hers is good for nothing. Just keeps her trapped and calls it protection. Then I saw Vincent appear at the entrance, 6 of Wayne's men behind him. Miss Milleron, Vincent said, his voice cutting through the music. Mr. Herrera is here to pick you up. This isn't picking up, I said. This is kidnapping. Miss Milleron, please don't make this difficult. He didn't even come himself? He's waiting in the car. Outside, Wayne sat in the back of his black sedan, window down, watching me with those unreadable silver eyes. Get in.
Now.
This is no place for you. Still trying to control where I go? What I do? I've arranged proper work for you. Real responsibilities at the business. Not interested. I crossed my arms. I want my own life. Get in the car, Peggy. Something in his voice made me obey. I slid into the seat beside him, keeping as much distance as possible. Music played softly from the speakers. I recognized it immediately, my father's favorite jazz song. This is, I started. Your father's favorite, Wayne finished. I know. The lyrics drifted through the car. A love that suffocates invades my heart. Still, I'd rather hear you say you're exhausted from caring. I couldn't breathe. When the car slowed at a light, I opened the door and ran. Stop the car? Wayne shouted. I flagged down another vehicle, jumping in.
Drive. Please.
Away from him. Who are you? The driver asked, alarmed. Your place. Anywhere. Just drive. Who the hell are you running from, lady? But Wayne's car was faster. He pulled us over and I found myself standing in the rain, nowhere left to run. Back then, standing there in the rain with Wayne approaching me like a dark angel, I never imagined that the man who owned me would become the only man I'd ever love. Seatbelt, he said, opening his car door, extending his hand. Get in. You can control my life, I said, but not my heart. I only know how to keep you safe, he replied. Inside the car, the tension was suffocating. Carrot and stick, huh? I said. You'll never let me go, will you? I want to taste freedom, real freedom, not this gilded cage you've built. Help me understand, Wayne said quietly. You're Gerald Milleron's daughter. Anyone who gets close to you might have ulterior motives. The Costellos, the Russos, other families. If you want to live, then live properly, safely. You're allowing me to live? I laughed bitterly. How generous. No drinking, he said. No strangers. No late nights. Your definition of late night wouldn't be 10 p.m., would it? 9 p.m. curfew. Midnight. 9 p.m. sharp. Later, in his office, Vincent stood by the window watching me pace in the courtyard below. "Come look, sir. Miss Milleron is really desperate for freedom." Wayne joined him at the window, his expression unreadable as he watched me. "She's been love-starved since birth," Vincent observed. Wayne didn't respond, but his hand tightened on the window frame, and for just a moment, something flickered across his face. Something that looked almost like longing. The elevator ride to the penthouse took 43 seconds. I counted each one, my wrists still aching from where the zip ties had been. Wayne stood beside me, close enough that I could smell gunpowder beneath his cologne. He hadn't said a word since we left the warehouse. When the doors opened, I expected a dungeon. What I got was heaven masquerading as hell. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Lake Michigan, the water dark and endless under the night sky. White marble floors. Modern furniture that probably cost more than my father's debts. Art on the walls. Real art, not prints. A Steinway piano sat in the corner like a sleeping beast. "This is your room," Wayne said, opening a door to the left. "Private bathroom. Lock on the inside, not the outside." I stepped in carefully, expecting a trap. The room was larger than my entire childhood apartment. A king bed with white linens. A closet already filled with clothes in my size. A desk by the window. "How did you?" "Your measurements were in your father's files," Wayne said flatly, "along with everything else he sold." I flinched. He pulled out a black credit card, set it on the desk. "For necessities. Food, books, whatever you need. Vincent will escort you anywhere you want to go within reason. I'm a prisoner. You're protected." He moved to the doorway, paused. "You cannot leave this building without Vincent. You cannot contact anyone from your old life. And you'll follow the house rules I establish." "And if I don't?" His silver eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw something other than coldness. Something almost like regret. "Then you'll discover I'm not as patient as I appear." "Will you?" I couldn't finish the question. "No," Wayne said quietly. "I will not force myself on you. You're safe from everyone here, including me." But his eyes contradicted his words. They lingered on my face just a moment too long, traced the line of my jaw, the curve of my neck. Then he left, closing the door behind him. I didn't sleep that first night. Instead, I explored my cage. The penthouse was immaculate and empty. No family photos. No personal items except in Wayne's study, which I found unlocked at 3 a.m. Leather-bound books lined the walls. Kant, Nietzsche, Marcus Aurelius. Philosophy texts marked with notes in elegant handwriting. A collection of vinyl records. Coltrane, Davis, Ella Fitzgerald. Classical scores stacked on the piano. Chopin, Debussy, Rachmaninoff. On his desk, a single photograph. A young boy with dark hair standing beside a woman who shared his eyes. Both unsmiling. I picked up the frame, studied it. That was taken before she died. Wayne's voice came from the doorway. I nearly dropped it. I thought that I was asleep. He moved into the room, wearing only black silk pajama pants, his chest bare. Tattoos I hadn't seen before, a rosary across his ribs, names down his spine, scars crisscrossing his skin like a map of violence. "I don't sleep much. Your mother? 16 years gone." He took the frame from my hands, set it down with surprising gentleness. "You should rest, Peggy. Tomorrow, the real rules begin." But he didn't leave. Neither did I. We stood there in his study, surrounded by philosophy and music and secrets, and I realized something terrifying. Wayne Herrera wasn't the monster I expected. He was something far more dangerous. 3 months of routines. Morning coffee at 7. Work in Wayne's legitimate businesses during the day. Dinner at 8. 9 p.m. curfew. Always. We circled each other like planets in fixed orbit, close enough to feel the gravity, far enough to never collide. Until the night Wayne announced, "You're coming to dinner tonight. Business associates. Wear the black dress in your closet. I'm not your ornament." "No," he agreed, fixing his cufflinks. "You're my responsibility. And tonight, you'll sit quietly and look pretty." That's all they expect. The restaurant was exclusive, the kind where they don't list prices on the menu. 5 men in expensive suits already sat at the table when we arrived, Wayne's business partners, their eyes crawling over me the moment I sat down. "Herrera, you didn't mention you were bringing entertainment," one of them said, a fat man named Castellano. Wayne's jaw tightened, but before he could respond, I smiled. Entertainment implies I'm here to perform. I'm here to eat. Uncomfortable laughter. They talked business. Import routes. Distribution timelines. A shipping delay from the port of Los Angeles causing supply chain disruptions. "The union's holding U.S. hostage," another man complained. "Container fees have tripled. Have you considered rerouting through Long Beach?" I asked. The table went silent. Castellano stared at me. "What did you say?" "Long Beach. The port's underutilized for your cargo type, and union negotiations there settled last quarter. You'd save approximately 30% on fees and cut your timeline by 2 weeks." "How would you know?" "I studied supply chain management at Northwestern," I said calmly. 2 years before my father's gambling debts forced me to withdraw. Wayne's hand found his whiskey glass, gripped it harder than necessary. "Smart and pretty," Castellano said. "Where'd you find this one, Herrera?" "That's enough," Wayne said, his voice deadly quiet. The rest of dinner passed in tension. Wayne barely spoke to me, but I felt his eyes constantly, watching, calculating, something shifting behind that silver gaze. In the car afterward, Vincent drove while Wayne sat beside me in silence. "Boss," Vincent finally said, glancing in the rearview mirror. "You're looking at her different." "I'm not," Wayne said too quickly. "You are. You've been looking at her different for weeks now. She performed well tonight. That's all." "That's not all, and you know it." Wayne didn't respond. When we arrived at the penthouse, he walked me to my door like he always did, our nightly ritual. "You surprised me tonight," he said. "Good. You've been underestimating me for 3 months." "I don't underestimate you, Peggy. I'm trying to protect you from men who would." "Men like the ones at dinner? Or men like you?" He didn't answer. Just stood there, close enough that I could see the conflict in his eyes, something dark and hungry fighting against iron control. "Good night," he finally said, stepping back. I closed the door, pressed my ear against it. For a long time, I heard nothing. Then, so faint I almost missed it, the sound of Wayne on the other side, still standing there, just listening to me breathe. I cornered Wayne in his study on a Tuesday morning, for months into my captivity. "I want to work." He didn't look up from his paperwork. "You have everything you need." "I need purpose." "I'm rotting here, Wayne." Finally, he raised his eyes. Something flickered across his face, surprise, maybe, that I'd used his first name. "You want to work?" "Yes." "Fine." He pulled out his phone, typed something. "Bella Rosa. My restaurant in River North. You'll manage the books. Vincent will drive you there tomorrow at 9. That's it. That's it. He returned to his papers. "Don't disappoint me, Peggy. And don't run. You won't like what happens if you run." I didn't run. I worked. Bella Rosa was beautiful. Exposed brick, dim lighting, the smell of garlic and wine. The staff treated me with careful politeness, the kind reserved for the boss's property. But I had my father's head for numbers, the education I'd lost, and something to prove. 2 weeks in, I found it. Discrepancies in the invoices. Small amounts at first, then larger. Someone was skimming, roughly $5,000 a month, buried in fake supplier charges. I tracked it to the assistant manager, a man named Tony DeLuca, who'd worked for Wayne for 3 years. My hands shook as I called Wayne that night. I found something. I'm listening. I explained the numbers, the pattern, the evidence. Wayne was silent for so long, I thought he'd hung up. Good work, he finally said. I'll handle it. Stay home tomorrow. Wayne. Stay home, Peggy. I didn't listen. The next evening, I returned to Bella Rosa, curious about how he'd handled it. The restaurant was closed, but the back door was unlocked. I heard voices in the kitchen. Wayne's, cold and measured. Then Tony's pleading. Boss, please, I can explain. My kids' medical bills. You stole from me. The reason doesn't matter. I pushed through the door just as Wayne nodded to Vincent. 2 other men held Tony against the walk-in freezer. Wayne, don't, I started. He turned, and the expression on his face froze my blood. This wasn't the man who brought me warm milk. This was the mafia boss who'd bought me like livestock. Vincent, take her home. No, I want to.
Now.
Vincent grabbed my arm, pulled me toward the exit. But I saw it, saw Vincent's fist connect with Tony's jaw, saw the blood, heard the crack of bone. Saw Wayne watching with absolute coldness, unmoved by the screaming. In the car, I couldn't stop shaking. Where is he? I whispered. Vincent's eyes met mine in the mirror. You don't want to know, miss. Where is Tony?
Gone.
That's all you need to know. That night, Wayne came to my door. I didn't open it. I know you're awake, he said through the wood. You killed him. I protected my business. You did good work finding the theft. Is that what you'll do to me if I disappoint you? Silence. Then, you're not like him, Peggy. You're not like anyone else. What does that mean? It means the gentleness I show you is a choice. Remember that. His footsteps faded down the hall, and I realized something terrifying. I should have been planning my escape. Instead, I was fascinated by the monster who chose not to be one with me. I was absolutely terrified of what that meant. A year changed everything and nothing. I took over 3 more of Wayne's struggling businesses, a boutique hotel, a wine bar, an art gallery that was hemorrhaging money. I turned them all profitable within 6 months. The hotel by redesigning the loyalty program. The wine bar by renegotiating supplier contracts. The gallery by actually understanding art instead of treating it like a money laundering front. Wayne started appearing at my presentations. Standing in the back of conference rooms, arms crossed, watching me explain quarterly projections to men twice my age who'd initially dismissed me. I'd catch his eyes across the room, silver and intent, and lose my train of thought for dangerous seconds. We developed rhythms. Morning coffee at 7, sitting at opposite ends of his dining table, reading newspapers in comfortable silence. Late-night conversations in his study about philosophy, music, books, everything except what we were to each other. He taught me chess. I taught him to laugh, though he fought it every time. You're smiling, I'd say. No, I'm not. You almost did. I saw it. You're imagining things, Peggy. But he was softer now. The sharp edges worn smooth by proximity, by routine, by something neither of us named. One night, after a particularly successful quarter, Vincent opened champagne. I had too much. Wayne had more than usual. We ended up on his penthouse balcony, the city glittering below us, the wind off the lake cutting through my dress. You're cold, Wayne said, starting to remove his jacket. Don't. I caught his hand. I want to feel something real. You're drunk. I'm honest. I turned to face him, emboldened by wine and moonlight and a year of questions. Why haven't you touched me? His jaw tightened. Peggy, you look at me like you're starving. Like I'm something you want but can't have. Why? You should go inside. Why, Wayne? You own me. You could do anything you want. But you don't. You barely touch me at all. Just my elbow when we cross streets, my shoulder when you pass. Why? He gripped the railing, knuckles white. When he finally spoke, his voice was raw, stripped of all the careful control. Because the day I touch you the way I want to, I'll never let you go. And you deserve the choice I never gave you. The confession hung between us like something living. What if I want? Don't. He stepped back, putting distance between us like building a wall. Don't say something you'll regret in the morning. You're here because your father sold you, not because you chose me. That matters, Peggy. It has to matter. And if I said it didn't, then I'd know you were lying to both of us. He moved toward the door, paused. You've had too much wine. Vincent will bring you water and aspirin. Wayne. Good night, Peggy. He left me there on the balcony, the city below and the stars above, and I realized the most dangerous thing. I wasn't afraid of Wayne Herrera anymore. I was afraid of how much I wanted him to stop choosing gentleness. To finally choose me. David Brennan walked into Bella Rosa on a Wednesday afternoon wearing a charcoal suit and an easy smile. He ordered the special, complimented the wine list, and asked to speak with management. You've transformed this place, he said when I came to his table. I used to come here a year ago. It was dying. Now it's thriving. Thank you. And you are? David Brennan, corporate attorney. And you're Peggy Milleron. He extended his hand. We had economics together at Northwestern. You sat 3 rows ahead of me. You probably don't remember. But I did. Vaguely. A face from another lifetime. That was a long time ago, I said carefully. 2 years. Though I'm guessing it feels longer. His eyes were kind. I heard about your father. I'm sorry. Something in my chest cracked.
No one had said that to me.
Not once. David started coming regularly. Tuesday and Thursday lunches. We'd talk about school, about the classes I'd missed, about normal things that made me remember I used to be a person, not just Wayne's property. He never asked about Wayne. Never pushed. Just offered friendship like it was the most natural thing in the world. Until Wayne found out. I came home one evening to find him standing in the living room, his phone in his hand, his expression absolutely murderous. Who is David Brennan? My stomach dropped. A customer. Try again. Someone I knew from school. He comes to the restaurant sometimes. You will not see him again. Excuse me? Wayne moved closer, and I saw something I'd never seen before. Raw, uncontrolled jealousy. You will not see him, speak to him, or acknowledge him. Is that clear? You can't forbid me from talking to customers. I can and I am. His voice was deadly quiet. Stay away from him, Peggy.
Why?
I stepped forward, anger replacing fear. Why do you care who I talk to? Because I know what men like him want. Men like him? You mean normal men? Men who don't buy women like livestock. You don't own me, I screamed. Wayne's response was a whisper. Don't I? The truth crashed down between us. Legally, financially, in every way that mattered, I was his. Papers signed. Money exchanged. My entire life controlled by his word. Then why are you asking permission? My voice shook. If you own me, just command me. Lock me up. Put me in chains. Stop pretending this is anything else. Something flickered across his face. Pain, maybe. Regret. Peggy. Get out. This is my home. Then I'll leave. I headed for my room. His hand caught my wrist. "You're not leaving. Watch me." We stood there, locked in place, and I saw the war in his eyes.
Control versus desire.
Possession versus something that looked almost like love.
He released me.
Fine. Wayne left that night. Vincent stayed to guard me, but Wayne was gone. 1 day.
2.
3. The longest separation since I'd arrived. I hated how much I missed him. Hated checking the door. Hated the coffee that tasted wrong when I drank it alone. On the 4th morning, I woke to find Wayne sitting in the chair by my window, still wearing yesterday's clothes, exhaustion carved into his face. "I'm sorry," he said. 2 words. The first time I'd ever heard him apologize to anyone. For what? For forgetting you're not mine to command. For acting like he stopped. "I'm sorry, Peggy. See David if you want. I have no right to stop you." But we both knew he did. And we both knew I wouldn't. Because somewhere in the past year, everything had changed and I didn't know how to change it back. Raymond Costello walked into Bella Rosa during the lunch rush, and I knew immediately he was dangerous. Not Wayne's controlled danger. This was something feral, something that enjoyed pain. "Miss Milleron," he said, sliding into a booth like he owned it. "Finally we meet. I don't believe we have an appointment. No appointment necessary between old friends." His smile was all teeth. "Though I suppose we're more than friends, aren't we? After all, I knew your father quite well." I should have walked away. Called Vincent. Something. Instead, I sat down. "You knew my father?" "Intimately. Gerald was a regular at my club. The Ace of Spades. Perhaps Wayne mentioned it." He watched my face. "No? How interesting. The things he doesn't tell you. What do you want, Mr. Costello?" "Just to plant a seed, my dear. Has Wayne told you why your father really owed him money? Has he told you what happened the night of that card game?" He leaned forward. "Gerald didn't lose to Wayne.
He lost to me.
Every cent. But Wayne bought the debt. Now why would he do that? Unless he wanted something specific." "You're lying." "Am I?" The Ace of Spades, basement club on West Erie. Ask anyone. Or better yet, he slid a business card across the table. "Come see for yourself. I'll show you the table where your father lost everything, including you." He left before I could respond, and the card burned in my hand like evidence. I didn't tell Wayne. Instead, I went to the club with Vincent following at a distance, thinking I didn't notice. The Ace of Spades was exactly what Costello described: illegal gambling, expensive liquor, the smell of cigars, and desperation. The manager confirmed it. "Gerald Milleron?" "Yeah, he was here. Lost big to Mr. Costello. $500,000 in one night. Mr. Herrera bought the debt the next day." My world tilted sideways. That night, I confronted Wayne in his study. "You lied to me." He looked up, already knowing. "Vincent told me where you went. My father didn't owe you money. He owed Costello. You bought the debt." My voice shook.
"Why?"
Wayne stood, moved to the window. For a long moment, he said nothing. "Because Costello wanted you." The words hit like a physical blow. "He saw you once, dropping your father off at the club. Asked Gerald about you. Started talking about settling the debt differently." Wayne's jaw tightened. "I bought it that same night. Paid double what Gerald owed just to make sure Costello never got near you. You expect me to believe you saved me? You still bought me, Wayne." "I saved you from something worse." He turned to face me, and his eyes were desperate. "Do you know what Costello does to women? What he would have done to you? So you're the hero in the story? My savior."
"No."
"I'm the villain who is slightly less evil than the alternative." I wanted to scream.
To cry.
To believe him or hate him or understand what the truth even was anymore. "How do I know you're not lying now?" You don't, Wayne said quietly. You'll never know for certain. That's what I took from you, Peggy, the ability to trust your own judgment about me. He was right. And that was the cruelest thing of all. The call came at 2 a.m. Vincent's voice, tight and controlled. Sir, we have a situation. I heard it from my room. Wayne's footsteps, rapid and urgent. Voices in his study. Then silence that stretched too long. When my door opened an hour later, Wayne stood there looking like he'd aged a decade.
Get dressed.
We need to talk. In his study, Vincent stood by the desk, a manila folder in his hands. Wayne poured himself whiskey with shaking hands, the first time I'd ever seen him shake. 2 years ago, Wayne began. Gerald Milleron died. Gunshot to the chest in an alley behind Costello's club. The body was found tonight, buried in a construction site on the south side. The room tilted. That's impossible. My father sold me to you 18 months ago. The man who sold you to me wasn't your father. Wayne's voice was hollow. He was an imposter. A body double Costello hired. DNA results came back an hour ago. I couldn't breathe.
Couldn't think. No.
No, I spoke to him. I saw. You saw what Costello wanted you to see. A man who looked like your father, sounded like him. Costello had been planning this for years. Kill Gerald, replace him, use the double to plant you in my organization as a future vulnerability. Vincent opened the folder, spread photos across the desk. My father signing papers. The real Gerald Milleron's corpse. Side by side, nearly identical, but not quite. I was never my father's daughter in this, I whispered. I was Costello's weapon. Yes. Wayne moved toward me, stopped himself. I suspected after 3 months. Small things, he used his left hand to sign, but Gerald was right-handed. He didn't know your mother's maiden name when I tested him. But I couldn't prove it, and I couldn't send you back to Costello without proof. You knew. My voice rose. You knew I might be planted here, and you kept me anyway? Yes. No hesitation. No excuse.
Why?
For the first time since I'd known him, Wayne's control shattered completely. Because if Costello wanted you, I'd make sure he never got you. Because the moment I saw you in that warehouse, something in me recognized something in you. Because keeping you close meant I could protect you from whatever he had planned. Even if I hated you for it, even then. His voice cracked. I would rather have you hate me and alive than love me and dead. The confession hung between us, raw and desperate and completely unguarded. He killed my father to get to you, I said slowly, the pieces falling into place. He planted me here to destroy you from the inside. And you knew, and you kept me anyway. I kept you anyway. That's insane, Wayne. Yes. He looked at me with those silver eyes full of something I'd never seen before. Fear. But I'd do it again. I'd do it 1,000 times. Outside, lightning cracked across the lake. Inside, everything I thought I knew burned to ash. And somewhere in Chicago, Raymond Costello was waiting to collect his weapon. Only I wasn't his anymore. I wasn't anyone's but my own. It happened during the Tuesday lunch rush. One moment I was reviewing invoices in Bella Rose's back office. The next Vincent was shouting, gunfire cracking through the dining room like thunder. Get down. Vincent threw himself in front of me as the door exploded inward. 3 men in black tactical gear. Professional.
Fast.
Costello's men. Vincent got 2 of them before the third caught him in the shoulder. He went down hard, still reaching for me. Run. Something hit the back of my head, and the world went dark. I woke in a wine cellar that smelled like earth and blood. My hands were zip-tied, my head screaming. Costello sat across from me in a leather chair, swirling a glass of red wine like we were having a casual meeting. Finally awake.
Good.
I was beginning to worry I'd hit you too hard. Where am I? My estate. About 40 minutes outside the city. Don't worry, Wayne will find you. That's the entire point. He smiled. Did you really think I went through all this trouble just to kill Gerald and plant you? No, my dear. I planted you so Wayne would fall in love with you. So taking you from him would break him completely. He doesn't love me, doesn't he? Costello laughed. He's already killed 6 of my men trying to get here. Burned down 3 of my businesses. The great Wayne Herrera, who never dirties his own hands, is currently tearing through Chicago like a man possessed. All for you. Upstairs, explosions.
Gunfire.
Screaming. Costello stood, pulled out a gun. Time to use you properly. He dragged me up the stairs by my hair. The main floor was chaos. Wayne's men pouring through windows, bullets tearing apart expensive furniture. Bodies on the marble floor. And there, in the center of it all, Wayne. Silver hair matted with blood, his white shirt torn and red, a gun in each hand. When his eyes found me, something in them went absolutely feral. Let her go, Costello. Or what? You'll kill me? Costello pressed the gun to my temple. You've already lost, Herrera. She's mine. She was always mine. My hands were still tied, but there was broken glass everywhere. I grabbed a piece, felt it slice my palm, didn't care. When Costello shifted his grip to yell orders, I drove the glass into his thigh with everything I had. He screamed, stumbled. I twisted away. The gunshot was deafening. Costello's body hit the floor. Wayne was there, pulling me against him, his hands everywhere, checking for wounds, shaking. Peggy.
Peggy, look at me.
Are you hurt? I'm okay. You're covered in blood. It's not mine. I looked down at my hands, at the glass still embedded in my palm, at Costello's blood soaking my clothes. Wayne's expression was something I'd never seen, raw terror. I thought I lost you. When Vincent called, when I got to the restaurant and saw, his voice broke. I can't lose you. Around us, the fighting had stopped. Wayne's men secured the building. Vincent appeared, his arm in a makeshift sling, nodding confirmation. Wayne pulled me closer, his forehead against mine. Never again. You're never leaving my sight again. Wayne, I'll burn this entire city down before I let anyone touch you. And looking into his eyes, I believed him completely. Wayne's injuries were worse than he'd admitted. 2 cracked ribs, a bullet graze across his shoulder, cuts and bruises that painted his body in shades of violence. The doctor came and went, leaving pain medication Wayne refused to take. I need to stay alert, he said through gritted teeth. You need to heal, I countered, forcing pills into his hand. For once in your life, let someone take care of you. The fever came on the 3rd night. Wayne thrashed in his bed, calling out names I didn't recognize. His mother. Vincent.
Me.
I sat beside him with cold compresses, changing them when they grew warm, whispering that he was safe, that I was here. 1 week, he mumbled, eyes closed but mouth moving. Knew after 1 week. Would burn the whole world.
For you.
Just you. My hand stilled on his forehead. Never been afraid before. Not once. Not of bullets or death or hell itself. His voice cracked. But you, terrified of you. Of this. Of losing. Wayne, you're dreaming. Not dreaming. Confessing. His hand found mine, gripped it with surprising strength. Should let you go. Should have let you go.
Can't.
God help me, I can't. The fever broke by morning. Wayne woke lucid, his silver eyes clear and tired. He stared at me sitting in the chair beside his bed, still wearing yesterday's clothes. You stayed. Where else would I go? Something passed across his face, pain that had nothing to do with his injuries. Peggy, we need to talk. 3 days later, when he could stand without wincing, Wayne called me into his study. Legal documents covered his desk. Vincent stood witness. These are papers transferring complete financial independence to you, Wayne said, his voice formal, distant. Accounts in your name. A house in Vermont, small town, safe, far from all of this. Everything you need to start over. I stared at the papers, at my name in legal print, at freedom written in black ink. You've paid every debt and then some, Wayne continued. You don't owe me anything. You never did. So go. Go live, Peggy. Be free. I picked up the papers. Wayne watched with carefully blank eyes, but I saw his hands, clenched white-knuckled against the desk. I tore them in half. What are you? I'm not leaving because you tell me I can, I said. I'm staying because I tell you I will. Peggy, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. You're scared. You're trying to give me the choice you stole. But here's the thing, Wayne. I moved closer until I could see the war in his eyes. I'm making my choice. And I choose this. I choose you. Now stop hiding behind nobility and say it. Say what you've been hiding for 2 years. I can't. You can. Say it. Wayne Herrera, the man who never yielded, who never broke, who built an empire on ruthlessness, finally surrendered. I love you. His voice cracked. God help me. I love you, Peggy. I have since the beginning. And it terrifies me. I took his face in my hands. Then love me gently. For life. For life, he whispered, and finally, kissed me like a man who'd been drowning and just found air. Outside, Chicago glittered in the darkness. Inside, I took my place beside Wayne Herrera, not as his possession, but as his equal, his conscience, his choice. And he became mine. Every single day, I chose to stay.